There was a specific person that I told today to watch my vlog because I was going to give advice on how to write music. So I'd like to tell you right now that I'm sorry it didn't turn out that way, and today got emotional. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to Garden Sound 365. My name is Garden Sound. This is the show where I write music every day for a year. Good to be back in the studio. I had a very, very busy weekend. I played a show at Anti-Fest. That was over near East Point in Atlanta. If you'd like to see the video for that, go to the end of this video and you can see the performance from Saturday night. It was a really interesting venue. It was a warehouse that had sort of been converted into a skate park. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there and enjoyed all the acts that I saw. I wish I could have stayed later, but I had to run to another gig. So to those performers I missed, very sorry. But I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Yeah, things are just rolling right along. We're gradually grabbing new subscribers. Check this out. There's a performer that grabbed one of my songs from last week and decided to do a little bit of freestyle, a little bit of rapping on top of it. Not freestyle. I wrote some lyrics and hip hop, and it's really cool. Check this out.
I said it don't add up, which we all got some. That's the way it crumbles, but we still got crumbs. Tell me stay humble, encore go numb until I make it, I guess. This is for fun, but I be lying. So I slammed on my back. I want the easy route out, like just hand them a sack. I took the world off my back, started handing in raps. I went from reading paperbacks to handing in plaques, and I can't lie, I've been feeling myself, cause I'm one bad B, they be feeling my pill.
So yeah, that's going to be today's turn up. So as always, there's going to be links to that in the description below. Go check out that guy's channel, and go check out Michael's channel and show him some love. He's quite talented. I want to talk about inspiration, starting songs, and sort of where I get my ideas for music, because it seems like there's a lot of problems that people are having lately with, or especially, that I see on boards like REDM Production, or We Are the Music Makers, stuff like that. Those forums that I visit, it seems like people are having problems figuring out how to start songs, and so I wanted to talk today about how I start songs. I'm making an assumption that the majority of people who can't start a song haven't had a lot of practice time with an instrument. Because for me, starting a song is just as simple as picking up an instrument that I've spent a lot of time practicing. Here's why. I'm going to use my guitar as an example. Alright, so let's say I'm practicing my guitar, right? I'm just playing a G major scale. You're just practicing, doing your thing. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start to noodle, or you're going to start to make different notes, and your mind will wander, start messing around, and just... It's like, I look at music like a language, because it is. I would have a hard time speaking German if I didn't practice German. So you'd have a hard time writing music, which I equate to speaking a language. You have a hard time writing music if you don't practice music. The question was, how do I come up with my ideas for music? How do I start writing music? The answer is, I practice. And normally while I'm practicing, I'll come up with a cool idea, and I'll just expand on that idea. Now, that doesn't sound like EDM, it doesn't sound like any sort of cool pop song or anything right now, but I guarantee you I could turn that into a cool pop song or some cool EDM. And that's the second stage. So the first stage is practice. The second stage is adapt. So, oh my God, who is blowing my phone up? Turn this off. Shush. Okay, take whatever you're working on or whatever sounds like there's just so much built into that. It's hard to just say adapt and then not provide any steps for what that means, because that's what a lot of people are going to criticize me for, and I get this criticism a lot. It's you say things and then just say do it, and you don't really give an explanation for how that's going to work out. Well, here's the problem. I don't know how that works. A lot of what I do is just intuitive. It's built into me. So a lot of, and this doesn't help the argument for, oh, practice is necessary either, because if I say this type of thing, if I say, God, it's so frustrating. How am I supposed to teach? How am I supposed to teach what I just do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to teach that. I just do it. I just pick up the fucking instrument and I'm like, oh yeah. I said I can't teach you the blues. You know what I'm saying? I think I've just been doing it for so long that I don't have to think about it anymore. Because I've literally been practicing music since I was 6. So, 21 years. I've been doing this for 21 fucking years. And that's why it's so easy for me. I'm sure if you did anything for 21 years, it would be easy for you as well. I'm not a Superman. I've just been doing this for 21 years. I mean, sure. I can tell you there's no technique for writing music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there are certain styles that you can imitate, and maybe that's what everybody needs to do, is just focus on how to imitate certain styles. I don't know. Because, like, I don't have to think about it. It just happens. You know, I'll just be sitting there. Like, for instance, today I was watching YouTube, and this commercial came on, and this commercial had music that was like clap it, 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 and that was stuck in my head. I thought that was really cool, and I started to put layers on top of it, you know, like tack it, 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 tack it. You know what I'm saying? I can just hear those layers in my head. And the reason I can hear it is because I practiced it. You know, and maybe this goes back to language. At least I know that sometimes, for instance, this is a good analogy. How do you tell a joke? And you have to conceptualize. Writing music is very, very similar to telling a good joke. And knowing when to tell a good joke, right? How do you know when the appropriate moment to insert a specific type of humor, right? How do you know that? And the answer is, you try it a whole bunch, and you mess up a whole bunch, and you embarrass yourself, but eventually you find specific ways to weave humor into conversations with other human beings that makes them laugh, right? Music writing is the same way. All you do is practice inserting specific types of lines into songs and weaving things together, and eventually you come up with this formula that other human beings agree sounds good. That's it. Study what people agree sounds good and then imitate the shit out of it. And practice. It all comes back to practice. It always comes back to practice. No matter what you do, it always comes back to practice. If you do not practice an instrument, if you do not practice your craft, you're gonna suck at it. And that's just the way it is. And you're never gonna get any better until you practice. And until you can separate your pride from the necessity of practice, you're not gonna get anywhere. And it was like, you know, it's like when I was in college and you all were at bowl games and watching the Super Bowl and going to parties. I was sitting in a practice room in the basement of the music building practicing my upright bass tirelessly. And I was sitting in my dorm room writing music in Reason and Fruity Loops fucking 2 and like the original version of GarageBand and all these different audio programs, and I was studying MIDI and I was studying formants and I was studying the Nyquist frequency and I was studying foldover and I was studying all this stuff. That's what it all comes back to, is I was practicing and you weren't. You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't practice. You're never gonna get anywhere if you don't practice. And I've practiced a shit ton and I'm barely getting anywhere. Think about that. 21 years of practice time, and I'm barely getting anywhere. God, I'm so sick and tired of this shit. Alright, you know what? Today's gonna be an I'm losing my mind episode. It is high time that you all sit down and look at your music and look at what you're doing and ask yourself the question, do you really want to be doing this for a living, or are you just saturating the market with more bullshit? Because there is so much music out there and it's not all good. And if you think it's all good, you're stupid. You are stupid if you think it's all good. Are you willing to practice music until you literally don't want to do anything else? You quit your job. You put your family through stress and strain of having to deal with your emotional ass because all you want to do is make music and write music. If that's not you, you need to stop. It's time to stop because you're hurting people like me. You're hurting people like me who actually give a fuck. Out there shit posting your music, putting it out there, getting in the fucking way of actual art and actual music. You need to quit. You need to quit because you're hurting me. It's hurting. And I'm not talking about Bieber or Ariana Grande or anybody that's popular. I'm not bashing popular music. I'm bashing producers who are putting out music for the sake of just doing it. Like they're just doing it because they want to be recognized, because they think it's cool. If you just think it's cool, if you don't love this, I need you to stop. Why are you making music? You know, because it all comes back to that question. Why are you doing it? Are you passionate about it? Is it a hobby? You know what I'm saying? I see so many producers that are putting out these pieces of music that they're just easy button. It's just easy mode. It's like it's all plugins. There is no more artistry in it. They're all trying to make the same sounding thing. It all sounds like Never Say Die. It all sounds like Bass Nectar. It all sounds like, you know, there's like 3 or 4 different sounds, but it all sounds the same, and it's so homogenous that the good shit doesn't get through. That the artful stuff, you know, the stuff that people sat down and slaved over and put samples in and put time into doesn't get through. I'm looking at the music industry from an outsider's perspective right now as someone who really, really, really cares about music. I'm looking at it from an outsider's perspective and going, wow, what happened? Because there's some of us who want to do this. Think about it this way. There are some people who watch my channel who are so angry at me because I'm quitting my job. They're so angry at me. They're like, oh, you've got a salaried job and blah, 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 blah. And you know, and you wanted to, and it's software consulting and it's good, it's got benefits. That happens. People are so mad at me for that stuff. You know what? I don't care about it. So I'm gonna stop. Right? And so those people that are so mad at me about the fact that I've got something, you know, that they want, and I'm getting out of the way so they can come in and take that position, because I guarantee there's someone who's more passionate about it than me. That's how I feel about other people who are more popular than me with music, is I feel that way. I'm like, God. And they flaunt it. They get on Instagram, they get on Twitter, and they're like, go laughing all the way to the bank, or fucking just made a song. Like, there's 3 million views on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes me want to die. Because I want that. Because I love music. And I've worked at this for years. Years. I've been working on this for years. I can play 15 instruments. And I'm going nowhere beyond my basement. It's an uphill battle. And if you don't want that, you need to quit. Because I'm tired of fighting you. I'm tired of competing with you. I'm just competing with these waves of apathy. It's so terrible. And people are like, oh, well, you know, you'll get your break. When? When? People have been saying that to me since I was 18. Nothing so far. You'll get your break. When? You need someone to notice you. Oh, you need to get in touch with someone more popular. How? Who? Tell me. You don't have an answer. You don't know. That's why I started this. I started this project because it's the nuclear option. And what I mean when I say nuclear option is this is the you know, it's like it's my last straw. Nuclear option, man. I won't ever be able to give it up. That's the thing. I can't give it up. I can't stop. I wrote songs about it. I don't think I can stop. That's one of my songs about the fact that I can't stop writing music. So I'm going to turn that line that I wrote into a hip-hop track. That blues line. I'm going to keep thinking about it. The answer is I don't know how I write music. It's a combination of the fact that I've been practicing for a very, very, very long time. I went to school to learn how to write music. I did. I learned. There's no easy answer. It's not a very heartwarming message. You know, it's like, I want to tell people, oh yeah, you can do it, but the fact is, it's 1 in a million. It is. I mean, I know that. As always, fresh beats in the description below. My buddy Mikey's track is also in the description below. You definitely want to check that out. The vocalist who put some lines on top of my beat. That's in the description below as well. And like, favorite, and subscribe. Yeah.